As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
One of the worst performances of my career, and they never doubted it for a second.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
I believe there's a hero in all of us that keeps us honest, gives us strength, makes us noble.
You just gotta keep living, man. Livin.
Son of a bitch. He stole my life.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Welcome back to the Shot by Shot podcast, where today we're finally going to talk the Oscars of the 2026 season, which we're finally at the final weekend of it. This has felt like an award season that has lasted more than a year at this point. It's felt like they've really stretched out this year, and I'm really glad that it's almost done. But there's a few movies in here that I don't think we've talked about at all. A few of them we've dedicated episodes to because we really like them. There's a few not so good movies in here as well that we haven't talked about. So it'll be an interesting conversation to see what we think of how it comes up to other Oscar years this decade, because I'm not too sure about it. This is probably the least interested I've been in the Oscars this decade since I really started getting really interested in the Oscar race. But how have you felt about this Oscar race so far?
I agree. It is more so than other years. It's been going on for far too long. But I will say, I am looking forward to tomorrow night. It's been closer than other years. Like last year, I think I went like basically 100% on my predictions, and this year, I feel like it can really go either way. But the discourse surrounding so many of the films here has been insufferable. Recently we've had kind of Timothée Chalamet, where people are overblowing the most nothing dig on opera and ballet, and it's going out of control. I'm like, please just make it end, please just make it stop. But yeah, it should be an interesting night. We've had some. I think last year was. I think last year might have been my least favorite. I don't know, but hopefully this can top that.
From my perspective, I think the quality is slightly less than recent years of like the nominees. I mean, my favorite film of the year was Eddington, and obviously because of how political it is, the old unks in the Academy were never going to nominate it for anything anyway. So in that regard, I'm not as excited as I usually am, but I don't think this is going to get me raging as much as when Everything Everywhere was sweeping, because I don't know, Banshees has robbed that year, and All Quiet winning a bunch of awards as well. I was getting really annoyed. That was not a good year for me watching the Oscars, and it was the first year I properly got into it. A lot of performative outrage online. Sinners. I'm trying to live in the real world and remember that Sinners is a great film, because it's developed like this cult fan base. It's so obnoxious. And they're saying that this like record-breaking Oscar-nominated film is like underrated and like it's not going to win much. When I think if Sinners wins like the first 2 or 3 awards it's nominated for, it's just going to sweep. And I do think there's a world where it wins Best Picture. I don't want it to, but I think we could see quite a ridiculous sweep if the Academy are leaning that way. Luckily, obviously, the votes have already been counted before all this online stuff, so it's not going to influence that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm worried. I hope there's no sweeps. The Best Picture is a complete toss-up for me. I'm not sure who's going to win it. Same with Best Actor. I think Best Actress is a lock, but yeah, there's a few locks and a few where I'm really interested to see if like we're going to have a world where F1's got an Academy Award. I don't know. It'll be interesting. I'm excited.
Funniest thing in the world, if Jessie Buckley does not win Best Actress, that'd be
I don't
insane.
think that is possible, but
I don't think it's possible.
I mean,
even though
I'm here for it. It's a bad performance, and I'm fed up with seeing clips on Twitter. It makes me cringe. It's a terrible film.
I do feel a bit bad for Rose Byrne because she was the early front runner, but no one really saw If I Had Legs I'd Kick You compared to Hamnet, and it didn't get that same, momentum. From the little bit I saw of Hamnet, because I couldn't finish it, I'm going to be honest. Yeah, not touching Rose Byrne's performance, but yeah, that is the lock. And I've seen pictures of her hometown in Ireland. They're already like waving flags, celebrating. that she's won it.
Yeah.
So it'll be very
Oh,
funny.
please.
It'll be funny if she doesn't get it.
Yeah. Hamnet is an interesting movie in this race because like November or something, it was Hamnet and One Battle was really the two going against each other. Hamnet now has a 0% chance on Go Derby, and it's really just One Battle versus Sinners. So it's kind of interesting how far that has fallen off, because I feel like when I said this was one that I found was uninteresting, I feel like it's because I don't think there's really any stakes in here. I'm going to be happy no matter who wins tomorrow night between One Battle and Sinners in pretty much any category. Hamnet would have been the villain, which we usually have at least one Oscar villain every year, which you just don't want to win, but that seems to have just disappeared this year. There's like really nothing. The Sinners and One Battle being up against each other is like just two great films, I think. And I don't think we've really had that this decade. There's usually one great film and then the other one that's really close to beating it isn't really one that I would have liked. Like Conclave last year kind of came to be one that everybody thought was going to surprise against Sonora. Power of the Dog versus Coda. Coda obviously ended up actually beating it in that scenario, being the movie that wasn't as good as the front runner once they got bored with it. But yeah, there's not been I feel like the One Battle versus Sinners is like a kind of like all-timer Sinners.
It is legit.
All-timer
50-50.
Oscar battle.
I think it's 50-50, yeah.
Coda does not get enough hate. Sorry for how bad that Best Picture win
Nobody
is.
remembers that it happened.
It's a
Yeah,
no one watched it.
so bad.
It's not bad.
But
It's alright.
It is. It's like glorified
liked it.
Disney Channel.
It's a good movie, but it just shouldn't be an Oscar winner.
Yeah, I don't know. I would say I probably liked 4 out of the 10 best picture nominees this year. And yeah, I don't know. I can't even remember what was fully I'm just finding year on year that I think they're mostly terrible. So I don't know why I'm surprised every time it comes to the nomination. Like, I really don't like most of these. But maybe this year more than the others. But for me, there was one standout. But yeah, it is gone on for far too long, as it always does. I really do not know why this doesn't end in February. I mean, it could even end in January if it wants to, but it's ridiculous.
End of Feb would be good because nothing happens in February anyway.
The beginning of February, I think.
Yeah,
I feel like that's when it was
February
last
in
year,
general.
or maybe I don't know. But yeah, going to be interesting. Hopefully a good night tomorrow. But we're going to do a collaborative ranking of the 10 Best Picture nominated movies, and we have a ranking. It will be me, and then Oscar, and then Daniel, going in that order. There's a few. There's actually a couple of movies here that I don't like that are nominated for Best Picture here. For the 10th place, I will go for Hamnet, because I think that was the most disappointing movie in my opinion. I seen that back in October as part of like the London Film Festival. Lots of hype going into that movie from the expectations people were giving it. And since then I've been pretty bewildered by the amount of praise that it's received. Obviously, like I said earlier, it was like almost the front runner at one point. But I really didn't like this movie. I've got nothing against Chloe Zhao. She seems like a really nice person from interviews that I've seen, but I just do not enjoy pretty much any of her movies. I wouldn't go so far to say she's like a bad director or filmmaker or anything, but she kind of just was working with nothing material in all of her movies. I don't really care for any of them. There is a movie. This should be a movie that's like reliant on its screenplay and the performances, but I don't think either of those end up really being good to carry the movie, and that's a big reason why I just didn't really enjoy it at all. I mean, there's like, if it was like a stage play, which I just really didn't like. It was like, it's like almost a chamber piece, like with the amount of sets in this movie. I mean, there's a few times where it kind of mixes things up, but I feel like it's so boring with the way it plays around with the settings for this movie. It's almost fitting considering it was adapted as like an ode to Shakespeare, what it was adapted to, but it feels like complete fan fiction. I don't think the screenplay is strong at all. Yeah, it's really awful stuff in my opinion. Fan fiction has been a big trend the last year in cinema. really weird stuff. That screenplay, I really think, I really feel like it goes awful places. And it builds itself around these emotional moments that I just don't think work at a fundamental level. There's like a lot of things I don't like for this movie. And you said, I think this is Jesse Buckley's worst performance, as well as maybe Paul Mescal. Like, I just don't care for the performances either. It's really don't like it very much.
It's such a shame, Paul Mescal. I think everything after Sun, he's just been on like a steady decline performance-wise. It's really sad. I mean, I think the child casting is pretty good, but yeah, I agree. I really do not like this film at all. Set where I'm from, which is weird seeing your hometown name dropped in films. I don't know why, but it is. But I think a lot of this film kind of exists as a neat looking peel away sticker. There's not a lot to it. It's shiny on the surface, and then there's kind of emotions existing, but when you kind of take a single peek behind it, it's all kind of pretty plain and empty. And I think like the last act of this film is like genuinely one of the most torturous things I've ever sat through. Paul Mescal looking out into the water and going, "To be or not to be," is one of the funniest things
That was so bad.
all year long for all the wrong reasons. If we didn't know already who he was, now you do. And I think the worst kind of thing, and I have this problem with another film that we're going to talk about, is this kind of false kind of fairy tale. It's this kind of cheap and tacky profoundness, and I think it has this kind of beauty of art message that it tries to put across, but it's one of those ones that's really cheap and something that it is able to win over general audiences really easily, which makes me even more annoyed. I'm a really big fan of films that use their kind of predictability to their advantage, their kind of inevitability with kind of fate. This thing uses it terribly. It's so obvious that someone is going to die, and then the second half of the film doesn't use its kind of state of destiny to any advantage at all. And the performances are pretty terrible. And I think it really tries to be metaphorical in the first half of the film, but then the second half of the film is kind of a really big rug pull, and we just get something kind of really literal. And yeah, the stage play at the end is a dreadful and painful watch. And I can't wait to see the act, because we're getting like the actors clips tomorrow. Jesse Buckley's, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be really bad.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to be a hater, but I can't stand the love for this performance. It's really not good. But yeah, I don't know if I'd have it in last place, to be honest, but I think it's fine to be down there. Are we doing vetoes, by the way? Are we just gonna go? We're just not bothering with that.
No, just
I don't
leave the
think so.
vetoes.
Yeah.
My experience of Hamnet was very short. It was about 25 minutes. I don't have enough time anymore where I can force myself to watch a film I'm not enjoying, and it's one of those where within 10 minutes I was like, I don't care. And like Paul Mescal was annoying me, to be honest. And then the little bit I saw of Jesse Buckley was like, okay, I don't see how this is like a lock for the Academy Award, especially like I said earlier with Rose Byrne and some of the noms. I've seen that GIF on Twitter of her like looking like a cave woman when she's stood in front of the stage, acting like she's like seen fire for the first time. I'm like, what is this film about?
Shakespeare's wife has never been at a play before.
Never been
It's
at a play
so
before.
bad.
Yeah. I don't know. This and Train Dreams just feel like films that, because of the subject matter and how they present themselves, feel like people are elevating them more than what they actually are. And we'll get onto Train Dreams, but
I actually think, I feel like they're very similar in many ways.
yeah, when I think of like when I see the list of films, Hamnet and Training really like lump together in my head of like because they're presenting themselves because they don't look like Netflix slop or like have wicked light. I think they're maybe being elevated to more than what they actually are. And I'd much rather have seen something like Blue Moon in here. I don't know. I think
It
they're
was
much
just
more...
an accident. I think was completely wrong.
Yeah, there were more deserving films, but anyway, we'll move on.
Yeah. I want to take a pick, but it's my second to last pick, so I don't want to just. I know it's a collaborative ranking, but I don't want to be the kind of collaborative ranking where I'm just being sneaky. I'm just gonna go for what's in my last place, and it's F1. The worst. It was Ryan and we did an episode on it, didn't we? We did kind of a sports thing.
Yeah. Very negative episode.
It continues to age like milk. It is about as close to an advert as a film I think has ever gotten. And I'm a big fan of the sport, and have been for pretty much all my life. This was dreadful. And I'm not coming it from the side of like, oh, there's so many inaccuracies, or like, it's a film, it's not a documentary, like, I really don't care. The film's soundtrack is like the most pop commercial thing ever. It really fits in with the estate they're going, and I mean that really derogatory. The film has this entirely smooth and clean look to it. It has zero texture. Kaczynski is a hack. People are praising like the editing and like what he's doing with the camera, but it's so repetitive and so boring. He kind of spams the pans on the side of the cars, and you get to a point after the first couple of races where it's just like we're just doing the same thing, and I hate. I saw someone say that it looks like the film looks like it's the inside of an iPhone, and I don't think I could agree more. It is genuinely the sequences in here that is shot and textured like a perfume commercial. It is dire.
It's a bit disrespectful to perfume commercials, honestly. I'd describe it more as like a Sky Sports, like sports coverage.
Words cannot describe how shameful it is that this exists in the Best Picture nominations, and is my least favorite of the nominations this year.
Yeah, so it's the one that like genuinely like it did steal. It was just an accident or no other choice, or any of the other ones that were really close to getting in like place. Because F1 was the biggest surprise here. I was kind of surprised that this didn't end up at the bottom of my ranking, just because we did do that episode where we just like kind of shit on it mostly. But you know, it's a movie that I'm like still negative on it, but like I just don't dislike it as much as two other movies on my list here. I hate the kind of philosophy that Kaczynski follows for this movie. Like I said, I don't think he's like a hack, because I do think his other movies are like, I don't think he's ever made another bad movie other than this. But yeah, like the choice to make this as realistic as possible, I think is just an atrocious decision, and something that I really hate with a lot of modern movies right now. And this one's really ugly most of the time. But yeah, like as a theatrical experience, like I can understand why someone would have a good time with this. There was a lot of blockbusters last year, like F1 and Mission Impossible, where like a lot of the movie was kind of a huge disappointment, but there was a few impressive set pieces that were the main talking points of the movie, and that was definitely like the racing in this movie, where I don't think was like, it was pretty cool at times, the racing. So I understand why someone would have a really good time with this. I don't understand why it's got a nomination. Like Top Gun Maverick was like a great movie of 2022, and that's how he got his last movie in. And this is kind of in the same theory of the cool practical set piece stuff with cars instead of planes. That the idea that they've got in with that, but I just don't think it's even got close at all to the greatness of Top Gun Maverick. So do I like this movie? No, but I don't completely. I didn't completely hate my time with it, like watching it. So I have it above Hamnet. in my ranking.
It is the feature film visualization of like Saudi Arabia adverts, Middle East stuff. Like you know, like the Middle East paid promotion stuff that you get all like artists at. To be fair, that is F1 in general, but the film it does feel like that.
F1 is a terrible sport, and I'm moving on. To
True.
yeah, I haven't seen that either, by the way. But the bottom two are the ones I've not seen. I skipped that episode. I couldn't do that episode, and then I was like, "This isn't going to get nom for anything." And then it got.
And then it somehow did.
But it's
Oh,
so
it's gonna
long,
win. It's gonna win sound. I forgot to mention that as well.
Yeah, it's gonna win
because
the
all
technical
racing movies
award.
win sound.
I mean, Jurassic World has been nominated for an award, so it's not a serious, it's not a serious event for some of the technical ones. My pick, and I think it's the bottom of what I've seen, so it makes sense. Is Train Dreams, which I know a lot of people like it, but God, it is a Malik light. I don't know, that's kind of insulting to Malik, but it is what that is. It's the easiest way to describe it. It's so meandering, and it feels like it's trying to be more profound than it is. And I don't like saying that about films. It sounds pretentious, but the like constant like flashbacks and the editing towards the end, I remember really annoying me. I did give this a 3, but I think I'm probably gonna lower that because the more I think about it, I'm just baffled by what people are seeing. And I think you two are harder than it than I am. Ryan's just seen it, definitely giving it a lower rating than I have. I mean, the performances are fine. There's nothing offensive about it, I didn't think, but I'm kind of shocked with how like small the production it is as well. It's like being picked up by the Academy, but I suppose it's the sort of film they like. They always have a couple of wild cards. And I wouldn't say this is Oscar bait. I think Oscar bait films are like Bradley Cooper films, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know. Not great. I don't know what you guys think. So I don't have very strong opinions on it. I just don't think it's very interesting.
Right.
Yeah, like we kind of almost talked upon, this has kind of got similar problems for me as Hamnet. In terms of the craft behind it, like it's a competent movie. Like I said, with Hamnet for the most part, I can understand why people are loving it, or at least liking it. I can understand. There's a lot of pretty shots of nature and trees that kind of goes between both the movies. But in between those moments, I think there's like it's shot in such a boring way. It has this like sleek and polished digital photography in both movies that I just ended up I can't really describe it other than it just kind of gave me the ick straight away and it put me off. Like it's not a bad like I wouldn't say the cinematography is bad, but it really put me off even from the start. Narratively, it also kind of shares a sense that it's building around these emotional moments, and it definitely centers around these moments around their like main character, and it really goes through these like this like gut punch to try and make you cry, and both movies just completely failed to really impact me emotionally at all. Train Dreams is like almost like it's edited in like lots of like montages, and I feel like it just jumps about completely, and it's definitely on purpose where it feels like you're left at like an arm's length of Joel Edgerton's character, but I just don't think there's really much to his character or anyone else in the movie that really makes you care about anything that's happening. Um, his wife is kind of just there to be a love interest, and then once she disappears, all of the emotional stakes of the movies are left on that. But you've spent like maybe like 2 minutes of screen time with her, and I feel like it's not really giving you anything to really care about what's happening. Yeah, just a really big disappointment for me as well. This would have been my second bottom, even below F1.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think he's such a weird because this is based on a novella, I think. He's such a passive protagonist, and I really don't understand the kind of praise I'm seeing for this. But at the same time, with Hamnet, it's this kind of film that aims to please general audiences with this this false and cheap profoundness that is so easy for, not to sound like that guy, but it's just really easy for a lot of audiences to pick up on and just kind of latch onto, with little behind it, and it's like profoundness as an aesthetic, but just with nothing behind it. Something that kind of really aims to come across as morally intellectual, and wants to be important and necessary so badly, but just fails completely. And maybe one of my least favorite kind of parts of film is movies that think they're being so smart and so genuine, but is actually the complete opposite. And I think it kind of really wants to flow with this kind of poetry in its dialogue, but the way it translates is just completely literal. Like it in a way it kind of just completely speaks its poetry, and doesn't visualize it. And the stuff it's saying is, we know to be true in a sense, but it's just adding nothing to it. And I think that's what's most baffling of all. And the ending kind of sequence just annoys me so much. It's the same with Hamlet, this kind of meaning for life thing that's so easy to latch onto, and just incredibly disappointing, and zero overarching intimacy throughout this whole thing for me. But yeah, it's pretty bad.
I forgot to say as well, the narration I found really annoying.
Oh,
the way that it was fully relying on that for its storytelling.
That's what I'm kind of talking about, with the way it kind of goes about its kind of poeticness. It just speaks it straight and plain, and has no kind of harmony with the images it's presenting either. And yeah, I really did not like a lot of nominees, so this is like 7th out of 10 for me, as of now. But I really did not like it, but it just goes to show how many I didn't care for this year. But yeah, not a good film at all.
It's so interesting. We're quite big outliers on it compared to like everyone else that I follow on.
It's got a 4.1 average.
And it's got a 4.1 average amongst my mutuals as well. It's like it's us and a couple other people that
you need to be following the right people. It's got 3.4 for me, to be fair.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
I don't think it's really up for any category apart from, I think cinematography was the closest. I think it's considered 3rd place for cinematography right now.
Good. It's not very good cinematography.
No, I agree. But yeah, I don't think it's really nominated for much else. Best song, I don't know what the song is, but
oh, is it
is it like an end credits song?
Does that character sing? I've forgotten the actor's name. That the guy
Macy?
who dies. Yeah, William H. Macy. Yeah, does he sing? I can't remember. Bad film. I've forgotten everything.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, maybe it's that. I don't know. Is it me next? Did Daniel pick
was
one?
that?
Yeah, Daniel
No,
was
you
Train
picked
James.
that. Was he? How many have we? Oh yeah, we picked 3.
Yeah, we've
haven't
done
we?
3.
Yeah. So this is number 7. That was spot.
Yeah, number 7. I think we'll all be happy with this one because I know Oscar doesn't like it, and Daniel's probably lower on this, but I'm gonna go Frankenstein.
Thank you.
This is when I actually get. Yeah, this is when I actually get the movies that I like. From here on in, I like all these movies. Maybe not like top 10 of the year, but I really like Del Toro as a director. And there's a lot of craft elements here, which kind of is represented in the Oscar categories, as this was the front runner for quite a lot of them. I think it's makeup, costume design, and production design. This is the favourite to win, which I think, as is all of these movies, is kind of usually the highlight of these movies. If you compare this to some of his older movies, I think the cinematography isn't as good, but I don't go as far to say like it's ugly, and people that say this looks like Wicked is outrageous.
No, it's not outrageous. It's a disgusting looking film.
It
It's
is
not.
not a disgusting looking film.
It is.
Jacob Elordi in this movie is also really good. I think his performance was great.
Yeah. I am not so positive on it. I'd have this as my second to bottom.
Really?
My ninth spot. This is really bad for me. Guillermo del Toro is like the Academy's Make-A-Wish kid, and that's how fans treat him. He's got so much passion. He's got so much passion
Got
for
so
his
much
craft.
whimsy.
Shut up, man. This film is dire. I've said this about a lot Train Dreams and Hamlet so far, but my biggest complaint, I haven't even read Frankenstein, but this feels like such a straightforward and like I've been saying, literal adaptation of the novel that it almost feels redundant completely. He spent almost his entire career making kind of riffs on Frankenstein, and when he finally gets faced with the actual thing, he kind of it freezes and it just completely pointless. I know that in itself is a redundant critique, but I genuinely found the entire project to be completely futile. Oscar Isaac puts in probably his worst performance, one of my least favorite performances of the year. He is really bad in this film. Elordi's good. I think it's supremely ugly. It looks like something that should bear the Netflix logo. Uses the kind of digital landscapes to horrendous effect. And it just spends its entire film kind of in the comfort of this novel, just completely unafraid to do anything outside of that. And if you guys didn't already know that Frankenstein's monster isn't actually the monster, did you guys know that? It's actually Frankenstein. I don't know if you guys knew that, but yeah, this film is really, really bad. And I know everyone hasn't been nominated in a lot, but it's honestly embarrassing to see how many things this has been nominated for. This in adapted screenplay is insane to me. Is this in cinematography as well? It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is sacrilegious. I despise this with all my bones. Just no kind of subtext or nuance to anything in this film. Just incredibly dull and boring. But yeah, I don't know.
I always think, I think I said in my review that Del Toro's, I feel like his ambitions and the way he talks about films are never quite translated to the screen. I don't know if that's probably is a him problem, but I also
Passion merchant. That's what I've been saying.
he's treated a bit like a Make-A-Wish kid, but he has made some good stuff, and like visually, the stuff with like the angel in this, I don't know, I thought it looked really cool. I think his best film is Pinocchio, though, and that's where like animation can let you be more creative than you are in live action. You have a bit more freedom, especially with style. I think he's much more built for that kind of film. Yeah, some of the writing's a bit dull and expository, I think. And I feel like obviously the best stuff is going to be plucked straight out of the book, but I don't think it's redundant because if you're not familiar with the novel, I didn't know anything about like the ship stuff or anything like that, and a lot of other people wouldn't be either. The people I saw it with weren't familiar with it. I thought instead of being confined to like the laboratory and the surrounding village, like in the original film, I think doing the sprawling sort of film is quite an interesting take on it. I like the stuff with the old man as well, and like the way he's treated as like a creature. It felt a bit more, I don't know, fleshed out. He definitely felt like a more fleshed out character than I'm used to. Elodie's good. Obviously, not. I wasn't really recognizing that it was Elodie, so how caked up he was in makeup, but he does give a good performance.
Am I the only one that can see like Elodie like
Not
right through
really.
that?
I just see the alien from Prometheus. To be honest.
True, true. I could
The
see right through
engineer.
that, but I think, yeah, I could. But that's the thing with Del Toro is like, oh, they're kind of like the behind the scenes. They rely so much on that. It's like we built this massive, big, practical ship, and it's like, okay, that's genuinely what a lot of Del Toro's work now I think has going for it. I don't know what is my favorite Del Toro. Pacific Rim's pretty good.
Pacific Rim is so.
Yeah,
If
but
you don't like Pacific Rim,
Pacific Rim
Hellboy,
is not his
Hellboy,
best movie.
Hellboy. I think his Hellboy films are my favorite. I do really enjoy those.
never
Hellboy's
seen-
really cool.
what is it? I'm not like huge on Pan's Labyrinth, even though people love it.
Yeah, people do.
Pan's
people do
Pan's
love
Labyrinth,
it.
and what was the one from 2022? The
Nightmare Alley.
Nightmare
or
Alley, that was
Pinocchio.
great.
Pinocchio.
Oh, mine's
no,
Pinocchio. I don't like Shape of
Nightmare
Water.
Alley is. I'm not too hot on Nightmare Alley. It's alright. Mimic's kind of cool. Blade 2 is significantly a fairly big step down to the first, in my opinion.
No.
Shape of
Blade
Water
2 has some dodgy CGI, but I think it's a cool movie.
Yeah, I much prefer the first. But yeah, Pacific Rim is pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know. He just maybe he's kind of I'm past my love for him. But yeah, I found this to be an absolute slog.
Fair. You're next. What's number 6?
Number 6 for me, I think this is a good position. Maybe this would be right for you guys, but I've gone for Begonia.
I'd have it slightly higher. But
It's close between two films for me, but I know what. Yeah, I've just realized what you guys are gonna pick next. Anyway,
yeah, I think
honestly.
you know what I'm picking next.
I could
goodness
shuffle
sake,
the next
man.
the next 3 movies. I could shuffle.
No, I cannot.
I'm very confident about my next
that's
film. I'm
bad. There's
very
like two, 5 and 6, like on the same level for me. I should have gone something else. Right. Anyway, yeah, Begonia. I don't know. I find as I go on with Lanthimos that I watch his films and like, yeah, and then after a few weeks, I find that I just completely slipping out of my mind for all the wrong reasons. This is maybe a bit more back into the realm of clarity for him, if that makes any sense, coming off the back of the kind of Kinds and Kindness. But I just find a lot of his whole attempts at big metaphorical work now I find just don't land for me. And this is quite a misanthropic film. It's really detrimental to the state of humanity, and I think the ending is really bad. We kind of get these montage of like the world all collapse down or whatever. And I don't know, as I find myself getting further and further away from it, I find myself just caring for it less and less. I wouldn't say it's as bad as those other ones, but I just think it's at the moment incredibly middle of the road, and really not good.
I think the fact he's pumping out so many with Clemens and Emma Stone is sort of like merging them together a little bit for me, because I keep forgetting Kinds of Kindness as a film, and I feel like this is one as well where I don't know. They are very well. They're very good actors, but this to me feels like he's approaching quite a digestible direction in his filmography, and then you compare it to some of his early stuff like Dogtooth, and I mean, Sacred Deer's got a star-studded cast, but that's definitely not for casual audiences. Yeah, this one felt even more accessible than The Favourite, because this has like hype moments and aura sort of ending. The Favourite's humour is quite dark and strange. I think the best performance in this though is I want to make sure I get his name. Is it
Oh,
Aiden
the
Delvis?
brother.
Yeah, I think he
Yeah.
actually is the best performance. He's really good. So I hope he gets a breakout role, or he might just be in more Yorgos films. But um, yeah, I don't know. Very obviously self-contained, mostly one-room location. Little bit shocked. It's got a Best Picture nom. Has it got anything else? Emma
I kind of
Stone's
Emma
feel
got-
like
Stone.
Lanthimos is becoming a bit of an Academy guy.
I think they have a few safe picks every year, and this is one. I'd
They
rather
do.
they go for Linklater over this with Blue Moon again, but he is an Academy guy now. I think.
I don't know how long
Um,
that would last. Like, I don't. If he made like another movie of this quality, I don't know if he's like Goodwill would last over to that.
this has gone under the radar as kind of one of those really superficial kind of eat the rich kind of films, because Emma Stone's character is kind of the CEO as the alien, this kind of rich and obnoxious and looking down toward people, and I also don't like the way that this film looks. It's got a kind of saturation
What?
to it that
I think he should be in the. It should be nominated for best cinematography.
it
It's better than
it feels like a trap in regards to that we're trying to look past how nothing this film is, and I think maybe it relies a bit on shock value. I haven't seen the original actually, Save the Green Planet, the Korean film.
Yeah, I feel like
I'm interested.
yeah, I think the
just to
shock value
see.
ends up kind of like ruin it thematically. That has led to people to kind of reading it in a bad faith way that I don't think he's really meaning. But I also kind of don't really know what he was meaning by it. So I don't believe that he was like meant to say that. But yeah, I think Robbie Ryan is like the highlight of this movie for me. I think his work's really good. The score's really good. I wouldn't go
Is
as
it
far to say to win
though?
it as people.
It's
It
good.
is.
It's good. It's
I
one
mean,
I
it's
can
not
remember.
like Sinners or
I can't remember all.
Marty
One
Supreme
battle.
level.
Can't
Yeah,
believe
One
Marty
Battle.
Supreme wasn't nominated.
Yeah,
I think Sinners might be one of my least favorite Ludwig scores. I'm not gonna lie.
What? I think it's like
I'm
below.
I keep on seeing
Oppenheimer is
clips
his
coming
best.
up on my Twitter. No, Tenet's is best by a mile.
No, it isn't.
Okay,
I
maybe his
think
best, but it's not my like.
I'm clips keep on coming up on my Twitter from Sinners. When was that? It was. I don't think I saw it since. Haven't seen it since Cinemas. And this sequence where I'm like, this is just unnecessarily loud and obnoxious. In
What's
comparison to some of his other work. The final shootout scene kind of is, and I think a lot of that kind of third act is where
Oh, it's so
where he
the
kind of
electric
uses it.
guitar riff. Oh, it's so
It
good
is
though.
it is good, but it gets to a certain point. I think specifically in that shootout scene with the KKK.
I seen people hating on that scene, and it was a bunch of people that had never seen the movie. That's part of like the hate that this movie's been getting as part of award season. It's been really weird.
I like it. I think it's been I've been slowly getting further and further away from it as the years gone on, but it's definitely not as bad
That
as
was
some of
like
these.
my most listened to album of last year on Spotify.
Interesting.
Sinners.
Interesting. Right.
Are we
anyone
moving
have
on?
else to are we moving on? Number 5.
Oscar won't like this. I'm looking at what I've got, and I can't. It's actually like a completely different rating to everything else that's left. So,
no.
Secret Agent is next.
Boo. Boo. I just
Um,
want to let everyone I do not endorse this. I do not endorse this. This is by far and away the best film of the nominees
it's
on
not.
here.
No, it's
Yes,
I'd like to
it
hear
is.
why you
It's
think that.
not-
'Cause
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Well, I actually do write a review on this, but I think this film really heavily relies on the subversion of its title because, well, to be fair, I watched this, and if anyone has ever been to the Prince Charles Cinema in London, or when it was during the London Film Festival, I was sat like third row, like far on the right hand side, and you're like sitting up like this. Luckily, I had a lot of leg room because I was on the end, and I'd bought a last minute ticket. And this film plays out like the film that you wouldn't expect to bear that title. The title is kind of fairly plain sailing in a way, and I think it's almost unfair to attach that onto the kind of cliches that is attached, because the Secret Agent just sounds like a title of some really shit British spy drama that they churn out on ITV
Guy
like
Ritchie.
every
TV show.
yeah, something like that, like every year. Like The Bodyguard or something, or something you've seen a million times. But no, it's a Brazilian film, one of my favorite international films of the year, starring Wagner Moura, who delivers the best performance out of the best actor category and should be, without a doubt, picking up that award, even though he probably won't. And I think also it completely took me by surprise that this film is more so about memory, but kind of filtered through the lens of pop culture. We see kind of bits of surrounding a cinema and Jaws, and spoilers for people who haven't seen it, but the film kind of ends as we skip on, and we come to the Wagner Moura plays. It's never even fully clear that he even plays a secret agent in a sense. There's a lot of ambiguity around that role, which I find really interesting. And we get this kind of final scene where it's Wagner Moura, but he's playing his son. And he's in this hospital, and it's kind of revealed at the end that the hospital is like where the cinema was. And I think there's a lot of fascinating ideas about who deserves to hold this kind of idea or signification of pop culture. Is it like the spaces that they've inhabited in the cinemas, or kind of our minds? And it kind of runs on this kind of Jaws shark thing, which is really funny. There's a really good bit with the shark in the beginning of this film. I was just so compelled by the entire thing, but taken back by how much it distances itself from cliches. You know, it's quite a slow film. I think there's so much to grasp onto from a lot of the conversations that I had in this film, and it's difficult because I think what this film does so well is there's a lot of kind of lengthy dialogue scenes in this film. One in particular in the cinema where he kind of gives this testimony with kind of journalists around him. Really, really fantastic scene, and it's so impressive that the scene is kind of elevated to full effect despite almost being entirely kind of expository in a sense of reflecting on stories. But it's an incredibly patient film. So many memorable side characters. The old lady is really good. One of my favorite.
Have you seen the video she done recently, where she was playing Agnes from Weapons?
Yeah.
And what was the other character she done?
I can't remember.
Was it Leo? I can't remember. But she dressed up as like nominated characters.
Yeah, and this film dedicates a lot of its time to finding out who Armando, our protagonist, is. But I think, and by the end, there's still a lot of unknowns about the character. And I think it's that essence of memory which I find really interesting. And a lot of films have really hit the nail on the head with this kind of fragmented view of memory in all different shapes and forms. But it really kind of hits the ground running very well. And this kind of on this natural decomposition of our minds. But yeah, incredible film. Very, very much worth seeing, and the film that should be winning Best Picture. But yeah, these guys like it, but don't think so much.
I mean, yeah, I like it. I do like it. I wouldn't even be mad if it won Best Picture, to be honest. Like, we're in that sort of territory now. Like, if Burgundy won it, it'd be baffling. But this, like, if it won it, it would be baffling if it won it. But I'd be happy about it. I said in my review, I quite like how South American films are so self-reflective and seem to have some sort of generational trauma from, like, previous regimes that sort of ran their country. It seems to have a big knock-on effect to the modern society, and it does feel very earnest and personal. And it's also really, really stylish. Probably the most stylish film out of all the noms.
Looks
And
really good.
I love the opening. Maybe my favorite opening, along with One Battle.
Oh,
Yeah.
with
the
Where's the
opening scene
production
is so
design nom for
good.
this? By the
I
way,
know,
Yeah,
really-
insane production design. Yeah, the opening scene is
The opening is
really,
excellent.
really good.
It really sets the scene of how like ridiculous this situation is, but also like there's a looming threat. You never know what the police are gonna do with like the corruption. Yeah, I love that opening. I don't think um, I don't think the pacing detracts from the content of the film. I think the content of the film is good, but I was really comparing it when I was watching it to I'm Still Here from last year.
Yeah.
I don't know that not really 'cause the subject of that is the family, not the person being taken away. But that felt stronger in how it was structured and from like an emotional perspective for me. I feel like there are some really slow burny bits in this, and again, there's quite good content, but it didn't grab me fully. But I don't know. I don't want to like put this film down too much 'cause it's on a really important part of history and it feels really personal. And Wagner Moura is incredible. I don't think he's as good as Leo, who's my favorite, but like Leo would be a boring one. I'm not gonna lie. Wagner's very good.
I think there's an
but
interesting.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I think there's an undeniable tie to I'm Still Here. But I think this film does. I feel like I'm Still Here is quite forward with its look on corruption, where I think The Secret Agent it keeps it at back foot, but always lingering in a sense without having to physically front like an image of, I don't know, someone being kidnapped out of nowhere. And I think the subversions of the film play so well because like the only kind of real action of the film like happens way towards the end. It takes ages, like gunfights, and it's half of it is implicit, like spoilers, but his death is only seen through a newspaper.
Ain't No Country for Old Men, so
Yeah, he does. What about you, Ryan?
my favorite element was kind of what you were saying, Oscar, was that like memory that you have where, again, spoiler, at the end of this, where he's playing, Wagner Moore's playing his son, like he almost has like no memory of his father, but he has quite a large memory of seeing the Jaws poster and asking his grandpa, I think it was, to go and see Jaws, and then finally going to see it, and the way that like the cinema and the movies were kind of like his like point of that point in his life rather than the people that he was spending a lot more time with and the relationships they had at that time. I feel like I never seen I'm Still Here, so I don't really know if the comparisons are right about like Brazilian history, but I felt like there was kind of a barrier here for me where some of it was going over my head, just because I don't really have a history of the time and place and the politics of the Brazil at the time. I felt like there was always a sense of there was like elements that were kind of going over my head and that was missing from that time. And I know this is kind of like I don't remember the director's name, but he done a documentary basically on like the real life side of this before, like his film before was that. And this was almost kind of like the narrative, the fictional narrative adaptation of that. So I kind of felt like that was kind of holding it at an arm's length at times. And that kind of like No Country for Old Men ending where it kind of like you don't see it, I feel like kind of was a bit underwhelming in my opinion. But I still really liked the movie. It was kind of those two elements kind of holding it back slightly for me.
Fair. Who's next? Is it back to you, Ryan? Number 4.
Yes. Number 4, I'm gonna go for Sentimental Value, which was one of the only
fine.
movies. Do you agree with that placement?
Yes.
I'd have it at 5, but I don't really like the film.
Right. Yeah, this was one of the few movies that I hadn't actually seen. This and Train Dreams were recent watches for me. Yeah, I really love. I feel like this is maybe is my least favorite film from him, but I still really enjoyed it. Um, I think all the performances, like nominations, are really well deserved. Like this is really like an actors and screenplay movie, which a lot of his movies are. Like the performances are always incredible. But yeah, my least favorite from him. I don't know. There's not really a lot that I really loved about this movie, and there's not really much that I disliked. I don't know. What do you think about it?
It feels incredibly tame, and I think I think there's a lot of its humor relies on low hanging fruit. There's a lot of kind of comments on the film industry and kind of jokes in here that are like really easy to snatch up. And in fairness, it did make me laugh, like the gags on Netflix and the DVD joke with Irreversible and the piano.
DVD one is
teacher.
wild.
But I think it almost relies too much on trying to be a crowd pleaser. And I think that's all it kind of relies on, really. And by the end, I just found myself that it just kind of neatly slips into this kind of closure of all the families and comfort, and I didn't really feel any kind of ongoing friction between these characters that I think they were really trying to nail on the head. And this kind of film industry backdrop was really dry, and it I think a lot of its emotion is quite artificial, and unfortunately just smooth with little texture to it. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's my least favorite from him as well. I just, again, another Best Picture nomination I just feel like I just really don't care for. It doesn't really occupy any state in my mind at all. I don't find myself thinking about it in that sense. But yeah, there's a lot of scenes in here that kind of grind any hint of kind of emotional momentum just to a stop. But yeah, I think it's too artificial for its own good.
I've not checked the odds, but is this the big favourite to win Best International? 'Cause it's
I
won
think
a lot, hasn't it?
no, I think Secret Agent.
Is it? I thought
Or is it?
Sentimental Value won a lot of
Oh,
those.
Sentiment about you.
really? Oh, I hope not. If Sirat wins it, I need
that
to go
is the
just under that
bottom.
film.
I'm
Have
looking at
you guys
predictions.
watched that film before?
I skipped
Just-
it. I could have seen it in cinema, but I didn't bother.
Just
Sentimental Value is quite difficult to speak about because obviously it's really nuanced little conversations, the family dynamic, and I agree it's the weakest film. I was really disappointed actually when I gave it a 4 because I thought this was going to be like my one of the year because I'm a complete sucker for like family dramas and Trier as a filmmaker, especially the cast. I think Elle Fanning really stands out in this. I think like she's typically a is it Elle or Dakota?
Dakota's like the bigger child star, if that's what you mean.
Who's in Sentimental Value? I just want to make sure I got it
Elle.
right.
Oh,
It is
Elle Fanning.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it is Elle,
Is that
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Elle Fanning. Yeah, she's great in this. I think her little scenes with Renate Renza are very good. But yeah, it's hard to talk about. I thought they were going to go really dark with the ending at first, but no. It's yeah, it's hard to talk about. It's good.
you guys need to watch a 2-part film called The Souvenir because this in parts, specifically part 2 of The Souvenir, feels kind of like this, but in a much better way. It's one of my favorite films of the decade so far.
I've seen the sequel, haven't I?
You have seen the sequel.
What? That's so weird.
I don't know.
The
what the sequel is.
no, not part 2. The Eternal Daughter is kind of a trilogy, but I haven't seen it actually. But Souvenir Part 2, incredible film, and it follows a filmmaker in that. But I think there's the use of the house in this kind of it. I think it it feels like a worse version of the stuff that's in the Souvenir. But yeah, I just didn't care for
The
this.
like blue screen gag at the end was pretty funny.
Yeah,
When they're
it is
filming the
quite
house
funny.
inside the
film.
movie.
Yeah. It's quite cynically funny. I don't know. I liked it, and I know it's an easy joke, that DVD joke, but it is like. It is funny.
Yeah, to be fair, I haven't seen a cinema laugh like that that
Yeah.
DVD before. So that was interesting.
Am I next?
Um,
Or are you next? What's that? Am I
is
next?
it, I think it's me. No, who did
It
you
was
just
me,
go?
so Oscar's
Mine?
next.
So it's
Yeah, it was
me.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So what's this? Number 3, is it?
Yeah.
I am gonna go for Sinners at number
Ooh.
3. I think.
You're sabotaging the ranking.
Yeah, you are.
Secret Agent is at 5. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but we've already picked Secret Agent.
No, he's saying it's a bad ranking.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, but
Okay.
you're strategically picking next to you know.
No, I'm not. I'm not. This is.
You
Nah.
like Marty Supreme more than
I,
Sinners?
I thought you liked Marty more.
Oh, you're
I thought
mean,
you
pretty
liked
active on
Sinners
Marty
more.
when it came out.
At the moment, my ratings on Letterboxd Sinners is higher, but I think I prefer Marty. But okay, Sinners anyway. We have it at number 3. It's a good film. It's nice. I think it works well that it kind of feels like it's Coogler really breaking his chains out of the MCU. Even though I do kind of agree with some of the complaints that this does actually feel like an MCU film in parts.
It's a bit high moments and all.
It is a bit hype moments and aura.
A little bit.
I don't know. The cinematography's good, but I kind of there's at times I'm looking at shots and it's like I don't like the I have a thing against oversaturation sometimes, and the 70mm IMAX I think kind of does it to a pretty big extent. And the look of the film, I'm like, yeah, some parts looks good, and I'm sort of, I don't know, I don't know, I think it's kind of ugly in parts. It's pretty messy.
Crazy.
Ludwig's score
I think it's
is
like
good.
the best screenplay of the year.
The film is undeniably messy, and I think for the most part, I think it kind of uses that to its
I don't
to
understand
aid
that. I think it's
it.
almost too simple. Maybe
Yeah, I
another,
agree. It's
like,
very
as a
simple.
criticism.
Nah,
I
it's
don't know.
pretty over the place.
Well, it's
think
not simple
all
'cause
over the
it's-
place. It's not.
But it's structured like perfectly. I don't understand it.
Apart from the ending, which sucks, there's no need for that post-credit scene.
Well, it's not a post-credit scene.
You know what I mean? The scene where you get Haley Steinfeld and Michael B. Jordan in like the 80s or whatever. Really bad scene. Does not need to be
Really?
there. I do not like that scene.
It's a good scene.
Yeah, I think it's good. I don't know. I like Coogler as a filmmaker, but I kind of think I maybe gets a bit more praise than what he deserves. It's a cool film to be seen, like it could win Best Picture. I think that's my favorite part of this whole thing. It's like I like the film, I don't love it, but it's cool that it's in this position where it is now, considering it came out in basically a year ago. By the way, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, it's cool to see, and I hope it picks up some acting awards. But yeah, it's good. I wouldn't have it as high as the third on my list. I'd probably have it fourth. I think I'd probably have it as the bottom of the films I think are good.
I'd have it higher. I'm not gonna lie.
But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like a very clean blockbuster. And I agree with Ryan. It's very, very structured. But maybe I wouldn't criticize it for how it's structured, but I don't understand the messy thing.
Yeah, I think it's the other side of messy.
I don't know. Yeah, again, because they were like campaigning for everyone to watch this in IMAX, that probably does help. But if a filmmaker tells you to watch the film in IMAX, you probably should. I did. I think we all did. And the aspect ratio changes and all that sort of stuff look great. I still love that music scene. I know it got like glazed to infinity, but that is one of the best scenes of the year where they're all dancing. And I think Jack O'Connell might be the best performance, even though
That
he's
is not
not in
ridiculous.
it.
I feel like
Even though he's
he
not in
hadn't
it.
got the
Racist.
praise because
I
they'd be
knew
getting
you were
called
gonna say
racist
that.
if he was
Yeah.
winning stuff.
But I
On
think
top
he
of the black
was. I'm not
cast.
gonna
But
lie.
yeah, he really was amazing. Yeah.
Delroy Lindo though was very, very good. I think.
Has
Like,
Jack O'Connor even been at award shows?
I don't.
I feel like I haven't seen him at all. Like, has he been told just to like step aside and let everybody else get the
I
praise,
think
or like
everybody's
does it
letting
just
everyone
not
else
care?
argue. Yeah. I
Good
think he's the
question.
best performance, but like Oscar just said, I got called a racist. But no, he's so good as that vampire. And as Michael B. Jordan's been getting like switched up on Twitter because people, after like 2 months on Twitter, decide that something that they thought was good isn't good anymore, and is saying the twins are indistinguishable. But like, no, they're not. They're very clearly different personalities, and he plays them both really well. I thought. Like, don't get me wrong, not best performance of the year, and I actually do think he could win. I'm not gonna lie.
He wasn't even in that
Oh,
conversation till recently.
He is
Yeah.
favourite to win, by the way, just so you
Yeah,
know.
I think he might
Yeah.
win, but I don't think he should.
It is
I
the
think
most. I
it's
think it
gonna-
might be the most stacked category, the best actor.
I
It's very-
agree. Every performance is actually good in that category, which is crazy, at least. I think it'd be funnier if Chalamet won. After everything that's happened,
It
it would
would be
be
funny.
really funny if he
It
won.
might be even funnier if Leo won, because no one's really talking about Leo, and it'd be like a
he's
boring
like
pick.
Wagner
that
Moura's got better chances of Leo than winning.
I know, but if Leo won, it's such a boring, like,
It's
it
such an
pisses everyone
open.
off.
Like I really
Yeah,
can't pick a
true.
winner.
Which is exactly why you should pick Wagner Moura, because that would be so good.
I wouldn't be mad if he won it. Yeah.
I wouldn't be mad either. I think he gives the second best performance of the year.
A lot of people are saying that, because the I Swear guy won at BAFTA, people are saying that Leo was number 2 there, and that's usually quite a big determining and like factor for best actor.
Interesting.
Is Ethan Hawke
People say-
not? 'Cause I actually think he might give the best performance.
He's
out of
last
anyone.
now.
I know,
He's
Just
but
'cause
last.
that nobody really talked
I
about.
know he's last, but I
him.
legit think that's the best performance out of all of them.
Yeah,
I
I
think
watched that today. He is so incredible in that
He is
movie. That is
incredible.
genuinely one of his best
Yeah.
performances. Like,
And it's one of
it is-
Linklater's best films in a while, actually.
It's a good film. I don't think he ever
Yeah.
misses, really, unless I'm missing.
Nouvelle Vague is not very good.
Ah,
That's not
of course it's bad. Shall I pick the winner then? I guess because I'm picking.
No,
second.
you still got 2 more to go.
Yeah,
oh
but
no,
basically
you do.
winner.
Yeah, you do.
There's
What's
no
number 2?
question between One Battle and Marty that One Battle is a better film for me. So Marty in second,
Yep.
which puts One Battle in first. My top 3 would be Sinners second and One Battle first and Marty third. But yeah, I don't know. Marty's great. I thought about Sinners more than it. I was thinking Marty with like Timothy's whole campaign and it being a Safdie film and like an explosively broad Josh Safdie film, like in scale. I really was not expecting this to be such an epic. I thought it was gonna really be ping pong focused, almost like a mock sports biopic. That no, it's. I mean, you've got Abel Ferrara running around in like a mob. Like that's the best part of the film by a mile.
It is.
Tyler
It is the
Crater.
best part of the film.
The casting is so inspired in this. It's the best casting of the year. It's so good, the casting. I think like even evil Shark Tank guy is just. I don't buy that he's playing himself. He's not playing himself. He's playing a rich dickhead. But I know he's a rich dickhead in real life, but he doesn't. Act
I was
like
about
that.
to say.
He won't act like he's a vampire in real life. No, it's a great film, but One Battle trumps it for me. I think it's got the best opening of the year. I think best as a collective performances out of all the noms. Like it's so stacked. Even Benicio del Toro's not in it much, and he's like leading over Sean Penn. I'm
He
pretty
should
sure.
be leading over Sean.
I don't
Penn.
agree with that at
He's
all.
the best
I think-
supporting performance in that film.
I think Sean Penn is like the best performance of the year. To be honest. I think
No,
Yeah, it's not ridiculous.
Benicio's better.
Benicio's great, but Sean Penn is like an all-time.
Sean Penn's
Feasible
like
bit.
so good that it's like boring to give it to him.
but he's not really.
I don't
won
think he's even
much.
going to be there. He's not. I swear.
not
I
said
saw.
it. No,
Probably
no,
not.
no.
He does not care.
He doesn't care.
Yeah.
If you saw him on the actors on actors thing, it's so funny. 'Cause Julianne Moore's having to like get him to stop complaining about being there, and, like focus on the interview. He does not care at all. And he won't win, which is a shame. But Benicio's amazing. Benicio's little section with Leo. I love the fact that Leo doesn't really do anything, and it's all.
They both
His
had like
character's
the
really
nonchalant gimmick and like
Yeah, his
night
character's
one.
really like pathetic. The shouting over the phone with the activist is so funny. I just think it's the perfect blend of like humor with like genuine. Yeah, it does have something to say politically, and I just think it's so good. And I think Lockjaw will go down as like an all-timer villain. That's why I love Sean Penn's performance so much. I just think he's incredible. I don't know if you. I think we'd all have one battle over Marty, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would. Mm-hmm.
You think you would? I
I
thought you were
would,
disappointed
yeah.
with Marty.
No, I like Marty. I think it's good. I was a little let down. It feels like, I don't know, I kind of wanted them to push out this kind of Uncut Gems good time formula, and I think this is just a weaker version of that kind of episodic formula that they're really used to, and it's almost too plain to see that kind of structure that they're playing with, and I think that's the biggest thing that let it down for me. But I think it's good. I had a good time. Score's great. Wish it was nominated, but yeah, just me. One battle's really good as well. But I just think Secret Agent is like by a good way the best of these nominees, and the one that I've been thinking about the most.
For me, Sinners is my one, and then One Battle 2. Those are the two that I've like rewatched the most and will continue to rewatch past this year. Yeah, easily my top two. Do you think? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. You go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna go away from it, so you can go.
I have like Secret Agent, One Battle, Marty, Sinners, and then everything else I don't really care for at all.
Right. Do you think Timothy has kind of screwed himself trying so hard?
I don't know because they cast the votes before all this, didn't they? So
Well,
Well, it's been a while. No, it was after SAG that they cast put the votes.
So the ballet opera thing, I don't think will have any effects on it because voting closed on the 5th of March. So I don't think that's going to have much of an effect.
Yeah, not
The
that,
SD
but-
Kid video is quite funny. It would have a bit of an effect. I just can't wait for the discourse to end because maybe it will even go on. But there's people are so overblowing the comments he's been saying, like, please just get a grip. It's kind of obvious that he's a movie star in a sense because this wouldn't really happen.
Yeah.
Be overblown like this. So if anything, this is just helping him. But yeah.
I just think SAG was so good for Sinners, and right before voting, like that Michael B. Jordan speech was really good. Timothy never really got his speech this year, at least not towards like the big main voting kind of time.
Yeah.
Neither did really anybody else because obviously like BAFTA like went completely off the rails and didn't even pick anybody that was in for an Oscar. It's really that like I think we'll be able to tell what's going to win from these acting ones. Like if Wunmi Musako like wins like early on, like it's going to be like okay, it's Sinners night.
yeah,
I feel like Delroy Lindo could end up somehow like winning even though he's been nominated nowhere else, and like he was like the kind of person they pushed forward for when Sinners won Best Ensemble at SAG. He was like the guy giving the speech, so I don't know if like maybe that and then the stuff with BAFTA maybe would have pushed people to vote for him possibly. Like he might like upset Sean Penn just because Sean Penn's not even been like campaigning for the Oscar.
Sean
Do you
Penn
think
is
there's a
fine.
world where PTA wins Best Direction, Sinners wins Best Picture?
Yeah,
I don't
like-
think Kugler wins Best Director. That's what I'm.
See the
quite
the
confident
thing
on.
with people, I feel like Sinners might end up underperforming because at the end of the day, it's still a horror movie, and I feel like we've kind of stopped talking about that. Like, there definitely is going to be bias towards the older voters that they're just not going to vote for the vampire movie.
I think we'll know early if it's going to sweep. Like you said, certain awards. I think if it starts, I really hope it doesn't. I don't like sweep. I like the Anora sweep because I love Anora, but even then, it was a bit like, okay, it's just going to win everything.
Yeah, I don't mind whichever one it goes to.
I cannot wait for the insufferable ITV discourse in between awards.
I can't wait for it to go to Netflix so we don't have to listen to people.
No,
I just wanna
YouTube.
watch,
YouTube. It's not Netflix.
YouTube,
it's
is it YouTube? Okay, yeah.
I want to watch American
Same
ads of people's like eyes bursting when they have medicine and stuff. That's
Oh,
what
the
I would
medicine
say.
ads. Oh, it's so bad. ITV presenting or American medical ads.
I'm turning it off if Oscar Isaacs is dead again.
You mean Jason Isaacs?
He's Jason Isaacs. He's not. I've
Jason
seen the
Isaacs,
lineup.
that's right, yeah.
He's not there. He's so bad. And then you
Jason
get that. You get that always the one grumpy old white woman who just doesn't like. Who just starts
she
going
will not
off
like
the
Sinners, I
rails.
bet, yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
But then they got that film reporter in last time. She was so good, and she was like showing everyone.
Yeah. I hope they have more of them, but I don't like Jonathan Ross either. I find him really jarring.
He at least likes movies.
Yeah, he is.
True.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting night. Are you excited to see K-pop Demon Hunters performed?
Well, that's got a lock win. It's got a couple lock wins.
Yeah. Imagine Sinners wins that though. That would be a determining thing that would tell you that it was maybe going to win Best Picture. If I Lied to You won.
That Demon Hunt song is so annoying.
Yeah, I don't think there's
Baby
any chance.
movies,
That is
man.
like,
Baby movies. What are we doing?
that is like
Ryan's
has
actually
100
seen
billion
it.
streams.
I've seen it as well. I
You've
can't
seen
believe
it.
I watched it. Both
I
of us have
can't do
seen it.
And I'm not watching it.
Yeah.
The songs are pretty good.
Nah, they're really screechy, the ones I've heard.
They're catchy.
That's the
Like, I
thing
get
though.
why
That
kids
gets
love
you. It gets you. That's when someone describes a song as catchy. That's hardly ever a good thing.
Yeah. That movie is huge though. Like kids love that so
insane.
much.
It's insane.
But yeah, I hope it's a good night.
Conan's back, that's good. He
That
killed
is
it
good
last year.
news.
He's got like a contract with them now, doesn't he? So it'll be a few years, I imagine. Yeah. It was sick of Jimmy Kimmel or whoever it was doing it before. He was like making fun of like the backstage, like all the like post production crew and stuff. They're always like taking jabs at like the editors and stuff like that, and it felt kind of mean spirited and out of touch. But Conan like makes fun of everyone in like a light-hearted way. I mean that joke he did towards what was it? Thingy, the controversial woman last year.
Sophia.
Yeah, that was really good.
Gascon.
Yeah, like no one was safe.
I'm trying to think who's going to come under fire this year. Timothy might get something.
Timothy will definitely get something thrown at him. If they make a Tourette show,
I was just about to say.
I hope it isn't at the expense of the guy. Please don't at the expense of the guy.
Yeah.
Twitter will blow up if they make a joke about it, and they probably will. So we'll have to see.
So what are you hoping for in terms of like PTA winning or Kugler?
Direct
PTA, yeah, definitely.
PTA is now. Yeah,
finally.
And best picture.
Ryan Coogler screenplay, PTA, PTA director, and then I wouldn't mind who went best picture. Be happy with either.
I'd prefer one battle.
I just want Marty to win casting because it is the best. Like
I think that's a Sinners, isn't it?
I know it probably is Sinners.
No, it's Ensemble's Sinners. Who is favourite for casting actually?
Francine Mailer is like the goat of casting, so Sinners will probably win. I recognise the name all the time.
I think you're right. Yeah. Yeah, Sinners is the favourite.
Oh, that's annoying. It should be Marty. Like Abel Ferrara inspired pick.
Yeah,
And then
I'm sure there'll be
cinematography had
more.
one battle to win that.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be more annoying discourse to wait after this.
Oh, yeah.
After one battle and Sinners probably break records because there are so many awards this year as well.
True.
Yeah. Big of the Oscar year. That's our predictions, what we want to win, and our ranking of the top 10 nominees. Let us know what you want to win, and this will go up right before Oscars come out. So hopefully you enjoy the show as well, and we'll be back next week for something else.
See ya.
See you.